When you see a character in Beastars lose their arm, you generally assume that's going to be the most shocking aspect about an episode. But leave it to season 2 to have that be the small thing in an episode. The reveal of TEM's murder came across very similar to one thing that I've seen before, and only one series has really done it to this degree, which is Attack on Titan, and I loved it in Attack on Titan. I will leave it spoiler free so you don't know who I'm talking about if it's ever going to be your first time watching it. I don't want to ruin that reveal, but there comes a moment where a character casually reveals something and it just has you dumbfounded that such a big aspect was revealed in such a casual, nonchalant way. And in this episode, Legoshi does the exact same thing to Riz, saying, "You're the murderer, aren't you?" And it's just a very casual conversation that escalates and escalates and escalates to the point that someone was about to die, probably our wolf pal. And if it wasn't for Pina coming in casually, it would have ended very, very negatively. This was, without a doubt, the best episode of Season 2, and there's been a lot of times where I felt that way. It makes sense. A part of me was wondering if it was going to be an obvious answer or if it was going to be a misdirect, because there's a potential possibility that the giant figure that threw Legoshi against a wall wasn't actually all it appeared to be. I was wondering because there could have been a different carnivore that maybe the anime skewed the perception so you would assume it was either a bear or a tiger, because that was kind of the only option by the look of the silhouette. But it also could be one or the other. But I wasn't thinking it would be the tiger if it was between the two, because it just felt like Bill and just the idea of what they're going for, there's more than meets the eye there and they weren't going to go that obvious. But at the same time, I wasn't expecting someone like Riz to be the killer. I thought it was going to be a misdirect. And seeing how they revealed it and seeing the backstory, it makes so much sense and it was the perfect choice. They do so much world building in terms of bears in this world and the idea that they actually have to take a drug that suppresses their muscle growth because they're just too powerful. And the side effects are just like they kind of lash out, they get uptight, and they feel depressed, and honey is the only thing that kind of soothes them. And I'm actually really happy that the direction of TEM's murder wasn't this like, oh, they had a fight and he ate him. It was literally a side effect of kind of trusting a little too much. TEM was a very blunt person who would say what was on his mind, but he wanted Riz to not be scared of himself and wanted to understand that, yeah, you have to take these pills, but you don't have to feel ashamed. Everyone knows you're nice, but you don't know the real me. I'm actually a very violent person. And the idea of them having this like casual bonding where they would just meet up and within a few days, he already wasn't depressed about taking his pills because he felt like he wasn't a monster anymore. The issue is once you get into that thought process, why would I even need to take it anymore if I'm not depressed? This guy clearly is helping me. Why should I have to take medicine? It's kind of like, it feels like they went like an almost antidepressant route where the person, that case being Riz, is saying, you know, I'm fine. I'm not going to hurt anyone. I want him to see the real me and understand that he will accept me as is. And just to see the escalation. And I actually went back and rewatched the beginning of Beastars to see the chase scene. It's sad because even in the face of such despair, you know, TEM accepted him as is, and then to see the shattering realization of the death and him consuming him so he wouldn't forget. It's a very tragic moment, and just the idea of what they were able to do with a murder plotline that I honestly thought they were going to forget about in Season 2. It feels so elegant and well-paced, and the fact that Legoshi is still confused and unsure of what to really do with this information, but just casually drops it, it's both the most foolish and brilliant thing I've seen, and the fact that Pina, of all characters, someone who, in the general perspective you'd say, would be the weakest one out of the three, there's a moment where he's literally standing above these two carnivores with more authority than either one of them and can casually drag Legoshi out of the situation. This is going to be interesting because there's no way Riz gets away with it, nor should Riz get away from it, but it also is one of those unfortunate things where with already having the discrimination being like they're now going to separate carnivores and herbivores, because of the situation with the drama club, this being the second time in less than a year, it's understandable why they're wanting to separate it and disband, but at the same time, you know that's not the solution. And there is so much uncertainty that they don't know about the other culture, like the fact that bears have to take these pills so they don't hurt them. For a lot of these herbivores, they probably do look at a bear and say, oh, that's a monstrous thing, not knowing the sacrifices it's already making so it doesn't hurt you. There's a lot that needs to be said, and I am genuinely curious if Legoshi will end up being the Beastar, because depending on who kind of reveals the information, apparently that's going to be the Beastar, but you could easily see Pina using that information for his own benefit and becoming it. But I think if someone like Legoshi was to become the Beastar, it could be a symbol of hope, because The only one that this animal wanted to carry him to the infirmary was Legoshi, a wolf, but a kind wolf. So if something like that was the Beastar, you could see the starting of changes, but at the same time, is that title even going to do anything in the long term? This is one of those episodes that really shook everything that we thought season 2 was going to be. Like, yeah, we knew the murder plotline was a thing, but did we casually expect it to be dropped in episode 7? No, my expectations was maybe episode 10 or something. Like, that would be the big punchline for season 2. And you revealed it now, and now there's all this drama, all this tension, and all this new information is shattering your worldview of what you thought you knew about Beastars. Generally, with these reviews, I actually don't think I've ever had anyone before I made the review say, oh, I can't wait to hear your thoughts about the new season of Beastar with this episode. I get good views on these reviews, but I haven't had anyone, like, request it before I made the review. But I had quite a few for this week. I had a couple today, I had one yesterday saying, like, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on Beastars. And within a couple of minutes of the episode, I was like, oh, clearly because we had an arm ripped off, and they even casually dropped the fact that this is such a common occurrence that they can easily reattach limbs in this world, and I'm like, god damn, what a brutal environment. But to see what they're able to accomplish with two giant reveals and both being equally memorable, and the kind of fear that someone would have because, you know, you're trying your best to fit in with all different species, and now everyone's looking at you like you're the one who killed TEM, and you really are shitting your pants. And even the casual drop of like, we know you eat meat from the black market, we know you're a scumbag, but we also know you're a really kind person. That's why would you ever want to give up on this club? There's so many great moments that really can be a highlight in itself. And while, yeah, TEM's murder reveal, that's going to be the thing everyone's going to talk about the most, there's so many plenty like side character moments that just are equally memorable in their own distinct way. Beastars went in this episode. The directing was on point, the reveal was on point, and I can't wait to see where the final 5 episodes of season 2 are going to go. Now that the cat is out of the bag and the bear is kind of on the loose, and it kind of feels like a lot of people could end up in his claws, and that's not a good thing. I think one of the things that actually shocks me the most about season 2 is I get a lot of spoilers in the comments, and between mods and myself, we're able to keep it fairly spoiler free. I'm surprised I didn't get the murder reveal spoiled for me, because I think I might have seen 1 or 2 people in reviews or even in the big analysis I did for Beastars, like say, what if it's the giant bear? I'm like, yeah, maybe. But I actually didn't see manga readers specifically spoil me. And I had a video that gained like 600,000 views on Beastars, and that didn't get like just casually dropped. I'm actually impressed with the manga readers for this one, because you don't get to see something as big as that too often. Like I mentioned with Attack on Titan, that reveal got spoiled for a lot of people out there. So the fact that Beastars fans actually wanted anime fans to enjoy the reveal, I had to commend them, because common decency online is getting fewer and fewer. So I just want to say, if you're one of the manga readers who kept it in and let us experience this reveal, I thank you very, very much. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. What did you think of the reveal, and where do you think I might go with episode 8 next week? If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, share your support, and hit that subscribe button if you have been new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.